Every planner I bought promised to organize my chaos. Every course swore their time management hack would change everything, but they didn't. I just ended up with more chaos and half-baked systems. In this episode, we'll talk about why this happens and how to reframe our idea of productivity so we can create something better. Welcome to Ditch the Chaos, a snackable podcast for busy women who are done with burnout, rigid routines, and productivity guilt. You'll get clear, actionable strategies to reclaim your time and energy without planners, pressure, or one-size-fits-all systems. I'm Cara Chace, entrepreneur since 2015, mom of two, wife to one, and I am unapologetically caffeinated. Let's dive in. First, we need to talk about the elephant in the room and the obvious problem. The productivity rules are completely outdated and haven't kept up with modern life. In my first year of business, I was working from home with a toddler, determined to do everything right. I had never been taught time management and I had no idea what I was doing. So I time blocked, color coded, and followed every big name entrepreneur system like gospel. And without fail, real life blew it all up by midweek. The carefully crafted plan I had so much faith in, completely useless. Instead of helping me feel in control, it made me feel like I was failing. The overwhelm and exhaustion would creep in, and I thought for sure the solution would be to just work harder and longer. This pattern repeated itself over and over again. No matter how much I optimized my time, life refused to fit into neat little boxes. And yet every book, podcast, and expert I followed insisted that with the right habits, the right planner, and enough discipline, I should be able to make it all work. The unspoken message was that if I wasn't succeeding, it's because I wasn't trying hard enough. But deep down, I knew the real problem wasn't me. It was the system I was trying to force myself into. But my pride and ego kept me trying harder and harder. I was starting to see success both in the online and client space, but behind the scenes, I was constantly exhausted. I was pushing through every moment, sacrificing rest, self-care, and even time with my family to stay ahead. I wasn't building a business, I was sprinting towards burnout. And worst of all, I was measuring my worth by how much I could accomplish in a day, rather than by the impact I was making. Over the course of several years, I reached the burnout that's been the hot topic in society the last few years. But I didn't know it, because I didn't burn out overnight. It was a slow fizzle, a fading away from my clients, my business, and social media. Then came the health crash. The years of pushing through finally caught up with me. Mold toxicity, chronic Lyme, and a giant wake-up call. I had to stop tying my worth to my output. It took that diagnosis and realization to give myself permission to just stop. Pushing through wasn't an option anymore, and I had no choice but to step away from my business for almost 2 years. That 2 years off showed me just how flawed the traditional productivity system really is. When I stepped back, I realized I'd been measuring my value by how much I could cram into a day and performing productivity, and I was done with it. If you want the full backstory of how I completely redefined my business and productivity from the ground up, head over to the blog for the details I don't cover here, like doing away with freebies and newsletters. You can find that info in the show notes. Let's get back to the real issue. Productivity advice ignores real life. It assumes you have full control over your time, that your mental load is clear, that nothing unexpected ever happens. Meanwhile, you're fielding school emails, managing doctor appointments, and trying to remember who needs what from Costco. And that's before you even sit down to work. It's not just the logistics, it's the pressure. And the belief that if we can't stick to the plan, we've failed. And that belief creates more stress, not less. So let's reframe this. Time management gives the illusion of control. But what you actually need is mind management. The ability to pivot, reprioritize, and protect your energy when life doesn't go according to plan. You need to build the muscle of discernment when it comes to shoulds and commitments. So what does real productivity look like? It looks like doing what matters most, not doing more. It looks like asking 3 questions at the end of the day. Did I move my business forward? Did I protect my time for myself? And did I handle the unexpected without guilt? If you're consistently answering yes to those 3 questions, you're winning and you will get ahead. Next, we need to shift from rigid systems to flexible frameworks. Here's how I think about planning so I can hold my days and my priorities loosely. Pick your top 3 priorities for the day. They can be a mix of business and personal. If you're working on something that's a goal like drinking enough water or taking a walk every day, those should be one of your priorities. They don't all have to be about the next project. Batch similar tasks together so you're not switching gears constantly. That context switching will drain your mental bandwidth and your energy more than anything else. Use quote unquote bookend planning to create structure in your morning and your evenings and leave the middle open for life to happen. I want to make sure and keep this episode snackable. So if you want more of a step-by-step for exactly how I do this kind of planning, head over to the blog for more examples and more details. These micro shifts can help you stay grounded without forcing every hour into a box. Now we need to talk about something every busy woman knows intimately: guilt. Guilt is what keeps you stuck. Guilt for not doing enough, guilt for needing rest, guilt for saying no. But perfection and people-pleasing can't be the goal. Progress is. So try this instead. Celebrate one small win every day. Did you have a hard conversation? Did you decline a low-value meeting? Did you take 5 minutes to breathe? That all counts. Finally, let's focus on sustainable systems, not quick fixes. Instead of searching for the perfect productivity hack, focus on creating long-term systems that support your energy, priorities, and lifestyle. Sustainable productivity is about making work easier, not harder, by automating, delegating, and simplifying wherever possible. Start with these kinds of ideas. Automate tasks like email replies, invoicing, or meeting schedules. Delegate what doesn't need to be yours at home or in your business. This might mean you need to ask for help, which can be really hard for some women, but it's another good muscle to build. Delete low-impact tasks entirely. Do you really need to focus on 5 social media platforms? Probably not necessary. And again, if you want to see how I applied this in my business after I came back from that 2-year break, the blog breaks down exactly how I made these decisions and what shifted when I did. When productivity works for you instead of controlling you, everything gets easier. It's not perfect, but it's real. Here's your reset and reclaim action step for the week. Pick one area where you're still following somebody else's productivity rules. Maybe it's a planner, a system, or a habit that's making you feel behind or doesn't really work for you. Ditch it. This week, build one small rhythm that supports you, whether it's a 5-minute brain dump each night or creating a super pared down morning routine, because there's really no need to have a complicated hours-long one. Whatever it is, make it yours. Thanks for tuning in. If this episode helped you, subscribe so you never miss an update and share with another woman who needs to hear it. For more resources, show notes, and how I can help you build your own flexible workflows, visit carachace.com. Until next time, I'm Cara Chace, reminding you to keep questioning the rules and making your own.